Welcome to Influence Matters, the show that teaches you how to turn your story into impact and your expertise into influence. I am Clara Rose, literary consultant and hybrid publisher, and your host today. Every week, of course, I talk about topics that are related to crafting your message for the world and building influence for your business, ministry, cause, or brand. Or I sometimes, well, often have a special guest that is doing something interesting or unique that I think you might be interested in, and I bring them on the show. And today I do have a special guest who I think you guys are going to find fascinating, and I can't wait to let him just shine. So let me tell you a little bit about him really quickly. He is a certified speaking professional, which happens to be how I know him. He is a popular keynote speaker. He's the author of the new book, Marketing or Market Eminence. I keep trying to say marketing. 22 strategies to build a bold personal brand, become a business celebrity, which we all want to do, and drive unstoppable growth. He works with founders, mid-market CEOs, and professional service firms who want to play bigger, grow faster, and become a category of one. His previous books are Do It Selling, Do It Speaking, Do It Marketing, which is an international bestseller translated into 6 languages, unbelievably. He is also the host of the globally ranked Top 1% podcast, The Selling Show, with over 500 episodes. Please help me welcome my friend, David Newman. Are you with me? There you are.
Hey there,
Welcome to the
Clara Rose.
show.
Thank you so
How
much.
are
That
you?
intro was so wonderful. The show's over, folks. Thanks for watching. This was a great time. Go and be
Uh,
well.
go in peace. There you go.
Go in peace, my
So
friends.
I just read just a little bit of your amazing bio, but I always like to give people an opportunity to tell us what you really do, right? Bios are so fluffy and full of stuff,
Sure.
but what do you really do at the heart of things?
So it's so funny because your introduction about what you help your authors do as far as turn expertise into influence and to help them rise above the commodity status. That's what I help people do, and they don't even necessarily have a book yet. Now they should have a book, and they may at some point want to have a book, but I work with folks that are doing amazing work in some level of obscurity. So these are small company to mid-sized company CEOs, founders, sometimes professional services firms, people that sell expertise of some kind, and they feel, man, we're doing great work. Why don't more people know about us? Why are we still competing as a commodity? Why are we still experiencing this price pressure? Why are better known but less capable competitors hogging the spotlight? And when they get tired of that, then we have a conversation. That's what I do.
Oh my gosh, I'm your ideal client. I'm over here working like crazy in obscurity. Well, this is my 8th year with my podcast, but I still feel uh, like I'm working like in a vacuum, right? Sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
how come there are so many people out there charging like twice what I charge, teaching crap, honestly, right? I'm like, why is it that they have, 500 people in their group coaching program? How is that possible when I can outperform them, even if I do say so myself, right? 8 Ways to Sunday, like, which is why I'm currently reading your book, Market
Yeah.
Eminence, so that I can know these things. But
Yeah.
yeah, wow, that's what you do is so needed in this space, not just my space, but for so many of us who are professionals
Yeah.
doing something, feeling like, nobody, we're the best kept secret in town, if you will.
Yes. And just
So
to
do
add
you,
on to that for a quick second, you know, our clients, our testimonials, our client results off the charts amazing. Just like your client
right,
results, your testimony, right? So the people that have experienced you, they're totally on board. But with a
right.
new person, with a prospect that's never heard of you, it feels like we're starting at square zero over
Mhm,
and over and over,
mhm.
and that needs to stop.
Yes, I agree with that. I have to call you. But today we're here to talk about your newest book. By the way, do you remember when we met?
It's funny. I was
Do,
thinking
do, do,
about this,
do,
and I
do,
do
do.
not. It was many moons ago, but I was it NSA?
It
Was it something
was.
else?
It was NSA. So you actually came, it was 2013, and you came to Tampa, which is where I am, and I was in the Speakers Academy that year. And so
Oh
you
my
came and spoke for the
gosh,
Speakers Academy in 2013. Yes.
that's
So
so
long
funny.
ago. Yeah.
Yes,
And
and look
then
how far
so
we've
over
both come.
right? So I don't
Yeah.
even think you had your first book out yet because I think I
2013,
was
it was
part of
well,
your
early if it was early 2013, then no. If it was after June of 2013, then yes, but it was brand new.
right, but
It might not have
your
been out
book
yet.
was just coming out when I
Okay.
met you because
Yeah.
I was part of your first readers early readers group. So
Oh,
it's
fantastic.
sitting on my shelf actually. So
There it
I've been
is, there
following
it is.
your
Mine too, mine
journey
too. Oh,
for a
sorry,
long
it's over here.
time.
Number
Yeah,
1 is
over
over here.
there. Yes, that's the newest one. So there's a few of them, but that was the first one,
Yes.
and that was the year
Yeah.
that we met. So interesting that we've known each other at least on the edges a little bit. I remember
Yeah.
you because you spoke, right? I was in the audience, so you probably don't remember meeting me, but anyway, I was a fan of your first book. I actually have all of your books, and I'm super excited to dig in this weekend. I'm digging into your book so that I can, because I'm on your launch team for your new book. Because I just knew it was
Yes.
going to be amazing. It's not as, it's not as beefy as your other books, which were like really thick. So I'm
That's
excited.
right.
This feels more lean, nitty gritty. Get down to what I and my business need, right? And what I think
Yeah.
most of us need. So tell us about your book. I know everyone's excited to hear.
Sure. So this is book number 4, and you and I were talking the other day about authors having like one book that's their legacy book,
Right,
and
right,
how that is total
right.
nonsense, and the world doesn't really work
Yes,
that way. So
yes.
even when I wrote my first book, I knew it wasn't going to be the only book. So the reason that this book is so exciting to me is that the first book was about marketing. The second book is about speaking and speaking both online and offline. And the third book is about sales and selling. When I went back to all three of those, and then also when I went back to all of my client work, what people are really wrestling with, they think they have a marketing problem and they really
Mhm,
had an obscurity problem. They think they
right,
have a, sales problem, but they really have an obscurity problem. So cherry picking
right.
some of the ideas that I've been teaching and preaching and working with clients
Mm,
for a long, long time and saying, okay, what's the playbook that will get
mm,
someone noticed, recommended, preferred, and referred
mhm,
in a very noisy, very competitive AI fueled
mm,
world of, unlimited robot generated content. What
right,
will it take to rise to that top of the pyramid or the top 5%, where what I call the business mavericks or the market mavericks really operate, where they are seen as the market leader, the trusted voice,
right.
and the preferred brand. And when I say preferred brand, I mean something very specific, that it is risky,
Mm.
dangerous, and dumb to buy from anyone else, or it's risky and dangerous
Amen.
and dumb to hire anyone else. And so I
I love
condensed all
that.
of that into a flourless chocolate cake. And you are right, the book is very condensed, very actionable. There's
Love it.
mind spark questions, there's exercises, there's prompts, there's activities, there's worksheets, there's all kinds of things that you can do to really nail down how do I quickly climb to the top of that
Mm,
mountain known as market
mm.
eminence with the visibility and the credibility and the brand preference.
That's what we all need. I mean, that's what we all want, right? All of us that are just out here doing our thing in excellence, right? Because we are, there's a bunch of us out here doing amazing work and feeling like the world just doesn't see us. So
Yeah.
having a way to rise to the top and people go, oh, yeah, if you want to write a book, you have to get in touch with Clara. Right? Clara's the answer, right?
Yes.
If you want, someone to help you play big, grow bigger, faster, stronger, be a category of one, gotta call David Newman, right?
Yeah,
S So how you get there, that's I'm super excited to dive into your book and learn what I can learn
sure.
from your years and years of experience about rising to the top. That's what we all want.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And I think with authors, especially the folks that you work with, there is such a flood now of terrible
Mhm.
books. And there's the old
It's
saying, the old cliche about you can't judge a book by its cover. Today, you really can't judge a book by its cover.
right.
Because, like you said, with websites and these other things, there are people whose marketing is way better than their
Mhm.
product. And there's people
Oh,
whose
way.
product, book, and ideas and coaching and consulting and training is miles ahead, but
Mhm.
no one knows about them. And more
Yep.
importantly, no one knows about them is sad. The tragedy is no one can tell the difference. And that's what Market
Ah,
Eminence
that's
is also
it.
designed to fix.
That's it. Nobody can tell the difference. So I just this week had a conversation with a gentleman who getting ready to publish his book, took somebody's really expensive online course about how to do it, how to write it, all that, and self-publish it. And then something as basic as he didn't own his own ISBN. I'm like, that's like Publishing 101 for self-publishing, own your own ISBN, own your own rights. And then he flipped through and showed me some of it. I'm like, no, no, don't release it. Don't do it. Right?
Yeah,
Chapter one starts on the right-hand page. Always. Every
that's
chapter
right.
starts on a right hand. I mean, this is like basic stuff. There's somebody out there making a ton of money selling this terrible information to people who
Yeah,
my heart just I just almost cried. I'm like, "No." Right? You're gonna totally destroy your
yeah,
credibility putting that out there. I don't
yeah,
I would never say this other person's name or talk badly about anyone in public ever, but I was just like, "No." Right? In a panic, don't do it. Don't do
yeah,
it. You've been led astray very expensively and been led astray. Let me so I just gave him lots of free information that I probably should have charged for, but I'm like, this is basic stuff and
yeah.
she's, like, making, undoubtedly millions. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
"What the heck?"
Well, so you put your finger on one of the 22 strategies that we talk about in the
Mhm,
book, which is radical generosity. Now, a lot of people are
mm,
afraid of doing what you just said that you did.
mm,
I gave her a lot of
mm,
free information. I probably should
mm,
have charged for it.
yeah,
I treated her
mhm,
almost like she's a client, but she wasn't a client yet.
mhm,
She might not have
yeah,
ever become a client, but I wanted to help
right,
this person. So
yeah,
I want folks to remember, and especially authors that deal, they're merchants of ideas.
mhm,
You can put every single step in your book, on your website, in your blog, in your webinars, in your videos. You may remember that the bookstores, both online and offline, the two biggest sections, there's a diet and weight loss section that has thousands of books in it. And there's
right,
a money management and personal finance section that has
mhm,
thousands of books in it. If it was all in the books, if it was all in the ideas and the blogs and the writing and
mhm,
the videos, everybody would be walking around bazillionaires and they would be thin
right.
and rich and tall and have a lot of hair. But they
Right.
don't because they need someone like Clara. They need someone like me.
Uh,
They need someone like
mm,
you to actually help them
mhm,
to implement those ideas. So
yeah,
whenever someone says, I'm afraid of giving away too much in my book, I'm afraid
mm,
of giving away too much on my blog, I'm afraid to put too much good stuff in
mm,
my webinar because then they can go do it themselves. Let's put that to rest for a moment. I'm going to say 5% of your audience, and I'm
mm,
probably being generous, 5%
probably,
can and will do it themselves. God bless them. Good for them. It's the
yeah,
DIY crowd. Here's the good news, they would never be a client anyway because they're DIY. So you're not even
right,
losing the 5%. The 95% are looking at what you're talking about, writing about, teaching, and
mm,
preaching, you go, oh my gosh, that would be great.
mm,
There's no way I know how to do that on my own. I'm going to
right,
call Clara. I'm going to hire Clara. I'm going to hire her team
yep,
to help put my book out into the world. So being radically generous and radically
Mm,
helpful is one of the elevation strategies that is
nice.
absolutely essential to your market eminence.
Yay me. It's like, right? It's natural. It comes natural to me because I just have that giver's heart or that servant heart, whatever you wanna call that's just who I am, but, um,
Right.
it's not just that because 'cause I've been doing that for years. So there's the other I need the other 21
The
apparently.
other
So
21 ingredients
that's why
also
I'm
important.
right. That's why I need to read your book. That's why I'm reading it this weekend. That and, I want to be a part of being able to leave your review because I know it's going to be amazing because your other books are amazing. So, so beyond the book, though, you obviously work one on one with clients. So tell
Yes.
us about I know this is about your book, but tell us about that other piece because it's going to resonate with people, like just like it resonates with me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm your ideal client, right? I
Yeah,
need what you have to offer, probably well
for
beyond
sure.
your book. So
Yeah.
who is your ideal client and how should they engage with you?
So there are 3 things that I do, and I've simplified this over the years because it used to be like a carnival in here. But I do paid speaking to associations, conferences,
Mhm,
groups.
mhm,
And so if anyone has an event coming up, meeting planner, conference producer, corporate executive, uh, happy to talk about the speaking option. As far as working with people, to answer your question, there's only 2 ways that I work with people because they're the 2 most effective ways, and they're also the 2 most cost-effective ways. So the first way is a deep dive strategy day. Call it what you want. Some people call it a VIP day. Some people call it a strategic work session. I call it a strategic work session, where we map out your market eminence game plan, not just on the strategy level, but on the tactical level. So I should talk about the tactical piece of this as well. Once we've got the differentiation, the positioning, the messaging, all of that is dialed in, how do we amplify your market eminence so that it reaches the people that you want it to reach? The 3 pillars of the amplification strategy are speaking, publishing, and podcasting. So we map all of that out. And
mhm.
people leave that day with the blueprint, with the tactical strategy, with everything that they need. Some people, like we just talked about, some people say, "Hey, this is awesome. This is amazing. I now have the clarity, the path, the plan, all of the details of what I'm going to do. Can you help me do it?" And so then we go into a 90-day one-on-one private mentoring relationship. That's renewable. Some people renew. They do a second 90 days, they do a third 90 days. My longest standing client, who's come back several times, we did 5 rounds. We did 5 rounds of
Mm.
one-on-one. By the third round, I said, listen, you've pretty much squeezed everything you can out of my brain. And he says to me, no, I realize that, but I don't want to stop because when I pay you, I always make more money. So I was like, okay, I'll take it, I guess. And so it was like the 15
Uh,
months we ended up working together.
uh,
But yeah, so those are the 3 things: is speaking on in-person and virtual
mm,
stages, VIP day, strategic work session where we map all this out for you,
mm,
and then the 90 days of done with you mentoring and advisory
mentoring.
work to make sure that it happens.
Now that strategic day, is that, also one-on-one or is that like a group
No, that is also
thing
one-on-one.
where
That is
we
also
that's
one-on-one.
also
Yeah.
so it's all
So they
one-on-one
either
work
come
that you're
to
doing.
me, or if
Okay.
they want, I fly out to them. It's more expensive if I fly out to them, of course, but
Of
we'll either
course.
meet here in Philadelphia. I've got a nice conference center downtown, or if they want to host me at their office or do a session with their team, that also works.
Nice, I love that. It actually is very similar to that foundational work that I do with authors. We spend time doing, I call it a brainstorm and blueprint, but it's just the foundational work. So you walk away with a
Yeah,
plan, what your book is going to look like, right? An outline to follow, a blueprint to follow, if you will. And I think
yeah,
that's one of the things that makes my process successful. And I dare to say that's probably what makes your product successful as well, is that
yeah,
foundational work that has to be done. You have to have a plan or you're just running it a bunch of different willy-nilly in a bunch of different
yeah.
directions, right? That's foundational stuff. I
Totally
love
agree.
that. I totally love
Yeah.
that. So, people, do you want them to go read your book first, or and then give you a call, or you want them just
The
to
book
say,
is
"Hey,
so
no,
short,
let's."
it could go either way, Clara, so thank you for asking. It could go either way. So they could read the book, they could go to marketeminence.com, not read the book, but download all the companion tools, resources,
Mm,
video training, or they could just call me. We can have an initial conversation, and the book, it's funny, the book takes right now I'm recording the audio book. So I have the running time.
love that.
Reading it
Mhm.
out loud, and reading out loud is slower than you reading it in your head.
Sure.
Reading it out loud, I think it's going to be 90 minutes. So you can probably read the
Wow.
thing in an hour,
Yeah.
and then come out and of course implementing it, right? Doing the exercises, doing
Right.
the thinking work, doing the deciding work.
Right.
That's going to take more than an hour, but people can get a really good flavor of what it might be like to work with me just if they, read or listen to eventually the book.
I love that. And so many people nowadays are doing the audiobook thing, right? I don't spend a lot of time on audiobooks personally, but it might be
Yeah.
because I'm a book nerd, right?
Yeah.
That might be. I want to touch it and smell it. There's something about the physical book. I want to underline
Oh, yeah.
it and all those things. But my husband is in his truck all day long, going from job site to job site, and he listens to just dozens and dozens of books, and then comes home and it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, I've been listening to this book today," blah, blah, and tells me all about it. So it is a market that, um, as an author, I think you have to be in, right? You
Oh,
have
yes.
to take that step and have your books done, for Audible. Now, you're reading it yourself? Because now
I
you
am.
can
I
have
am.
AI do it for you.
Well, you could. It's so funny because even back in 2013 with my first book that was with a traditional publisher, I
Mm,
really had to fight to read my own book.
mm,
And they're like, "No, no,
right?
David, we have professionals. No, we have voiceover talent. No,
Mm,
we don't want you to come read the book." I said,
mm.
"Listen, first of all, I'm a professional speaker. It would be
Right.
ridiculous for me not to read my own book. People would be like,
Yeah,
"Who is this guy?" I was expecting
yeah,
to hear David. And so I had to
yes.
really fight for book number 1. I equally had to fight HarperCollins for
Mm,
book number 2. And then when I went to hybrid publishing, the beauty of hybrid publishing,
mhm.
I'm in charge. I'm in charge.
That's
And
right.
so no one fought me on book 3 and no one's fighting me on book 4.
Go
And
for
it's just so
Yeah.
much more effective. And then because here's
Mhm,
why, Clara, people they listen to the audiobook and then they either see me in person, we meet at some event,
mhm,
or maybe they
mhm,
call to explore working together. They say, "I feel like I know you already."
mhm.
So you're right,
Yep.
the previous books were much longer. They were like, 5-6 hours of audio.
Mhm.
They say, "I walked my dog with you every afternoon," because that's where they were listening to the audiobook.
Right,
Or I'm driving to
right.
work like your husband. I'm driving to work with
Mhm.
you every day. You're in the
Yep,
passenger seat. And they literally
yep.
say that because it's so intimate. You are literally whispering in
Yep.
their ear when you're reading your audiobook. It's
So
amazing.
true. So true. And really, if you're Rosedale Publishing is a hybrid publishing company, so I'm totally agree with you on the whole control thing right there. But super important when I work with all of my clients that we capture their voice, right? I
Yeah,
want the author, I want somebody to meet you and say, "Oh my gosh, I read your book and I felt like I was sitting across the table having a conversation with you,"
yeah,
right? It needs to be that connected to you. You can't have somebody else do that work for you, right? If you need a ghostwriter,
that's right.
find somebody who is going to capture your voice, sound like you, right?
Yeah,
Use your personal prose, use the same terminology that you use. And for heaven's sakes, if you're going to put an audiobook out, have it be your voice, right? Even if you're not a speaker,
1,000%.
right? You
Yeah,
right? Even if
totally.
you're not doing a podcast, it needs to sound like
Now,
you.
I think
I
fiction
love
books are different, right? Fiction books are different
right.
because with fiction books, there's
Totally,
characters, there may be some acting involved, some
totally.
voice
Yeah,
acting. But nonfiction
yeah,
business books, oh my gosh, there's no reason for the
yeah.
author not to read their own work.
I totally agree. I don't do nonfiction. I only do books with clients, books that they're gonna use as a tool for their business, ministry, cause, or brand. That's it.
Yes.
That's my sweet I don't do any of those others. So I can
Right.
easily just say, you're doing a business book of any sort, it's got to be you. Got to be you. So I
Exactly
love that you
right.
did that. When it's done, I'm excited to hear that. I know that you have, it'll be out in a physical book, it'll be a digital book, no doubt, it'll be an audio
Yes.
book. So, however
All
people
the
like to
formats.
consume, they'll be able to
Yes.
consume it in their favorite or have it in all of them, honestly, right? So you can
Yes.
plug him into your ear and go take off and walk the dog or do whatever. Then when you need to sit down with the notepad and pencil and or computer or whatever and take notes and do the work, you're going to need it in a written format, right? At least
Yes.
I do. I got to have it in my hot little hand. So
Absolutely.
get it in all the ways that it's available is my absolute recommendation. Okay, so we
Thank
just have a
you.
few minutes left. Any last wisdom or anything last thing that you want to say before we're out? 30 minutes goes so fast. I don't want to miss
It
any
really
gold.
does. I think my encouragement to people, and I put a little bit of this in the book, but probably not enough, to really reach the heights that you want to reach, to stand out, maximize your impact, serve more people, help more people. We have to let go of two very human basic needs. You don't want, you want to let go of needing to be liked, and you need to let go of wanting to sound smart because that is going to commoditize you. That's going to make you the same as everybody else.
Mhm,
So, my friends, it is time to be
mhm.
more
Yeah.
you, fly your freak flag, build your author platform the way Claire is going to teach you to
Yes.
do it,
Mm,
and be authentic, be transparent. The more real you are, the more success you will have.
absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. 100%. Let your freak I've never heard that right. Haven't heard that for a long time. Let your freak flag. I don't think of myself as a freak, but yes, absolutely. Let your personality come through because I promise you you will attract the right people. You'll attract your people, right?
Yes,
You'll attract the people that are going to resonate with your message, connect with you, and it will not attract the wrong people, right? The people you
that's
don't
right.
want to work with anyway,
Exactly
right?
it.
You'll just
Powerfully
repel those
attract the
people.
right fit and powerfully
Yeah.
repel the wrong fits.
I love that. Thank you so much, David, for taking some time out of your crazy busy schedule, especially during this launch time for your book. I know that things are probably crazy, but thank you for taking time to share some of your knowledge with my audience. I really appreciate you stepping in, and I would love to come be on your podcast when you have an opening. Let's talk
Yes,
about
let's
that.
make sure to make that happen. That'd be awesome. Thank you,
I love that.
Clara.
I think. Thank you. All right, guys, there you have it. I told you that he was doing something really amazing. And of course, Market Eminence is going to be available in paperback, Kindle, audiobook, and you can find it anywhere that you love to get your books. And if you're an Amazon, Apple Books, Google Play, bookshop.org, you can go to his website. And then, of course, if you're needing to talk to him about playbook development or strategic work sessions or have him as a keynote speaker, um, you absolutely should drop him an email, david at doitmarketing.com, or pop by his website and just have a conversation with him. Just take some time, have a conversation, and see if he can't help you become that category of one. All right, we are totally out of time, but of course, if you are ready to grow your influence with your book, you can join our free Savvy Author community on Facebook, which is the Savvy Authors group, or you can go to craftingyourmessage.com and check out the ways that you can work with us over at Rosetown Publishing. All right, my friends, thank you for being here. As always, I will see you same time, same place next week. Take care.